it is now the turn of civil society. And it is my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Emmanuel Akwetey. Dr. Akwetey is the founding executive director of the Institute for Democratic Governance, that is IDEC. He is a political scientist with a PhD in comparative politics and international development obtained at the Stockholm's University in Sweden. In September 2010, the Secretary General of the Commonwealth appointed him to the Eminent Persons Group that advised on the reform of the Commonwealth. Dr. Akwetey has, to his credit, the Martin Luther King Jr. Award for Peace and Social Justice in our beloved country, Ghana. This was in February 2015. And also the Millennium Excellence Award for Democratic Development in Ghana. This was given him in December 2010, among others. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to hand over the floor now to Dr. Emmanuel Akwetey.
Thank you very much. And good morning to all listeners. I'm delighted to be here. In fact, I thought that Yamson and Associates probably must have known that COVID is coming. Now, I want to make a few observations and then go on to talk about, regrettably, you may not see the reforms, but the paper I gave looks at 3 decades of local government. And I just want to tell you why I have chosen to look at local government, because it's so important. Just on the 1st of December last year, if you recall, the president had to cancel the national referendum. Do you remember that there was a referendum coming? And that referendum was about us voting yes or no to changing the article or amending the article in the Constitution that prohibits political parties from participating in local government. Article 55(3). You can refer to your Constitution, copies of the Constitution, and you understand. Political parties can play all other roles like we have in this year, election year. You know, they go about educating people, putting up candidates, and doing all sorts of activities to get citizens informed, but they cannot participate in local assembly elections. They cannot be elected or file candidates to be elected as or appointed as chief executives. So they are prohibited from local government. That's how the system is. The other observation we should make is that although we have close to between 24 and 26 political parties, our parties in the last 20 years, 28 years, there was a time we had small parties like CPP, PNC being represented in parliament and with individual independent candidates. But now that has become very difficult. Our parliament today only has 2 parties, NPP and NDC. And they become very big parties, very strong parties. So somehow they split the electorate and they've edged out smaller parties. No small parties are represented in parliament now, or minority parties as we call them. Now, these 2 parties, because of the way they have evolved over time, we call them, they become duopolies. They behave like they are monopolies. You can see what we are facing now with, this is election year, and there is this issue over whether we want elections with brand new biometric voters register, you know, with a new management system, or we want to do the elections with the existing register that would only have to be updated because more 18-year-olds need to be registered, and then we'll use it as it exists. Now, that conversation alone, we thought, given that we live in COVID COVID-19 context and our health concerns and our anxieties and fears, we thought our parties would put our health needs, our survival, our human development needs first and find quickly how this can be done. But you see how serious a disagreement it has become, and it's making all of us nervous. Some are even thinking that if they can't agree, probably will not be able to do the December 7, 2020 presidential parliamentary elections because we've delayed in implementing the processes towards that election, and we'll have to speed up, and there may be possible hold-ups because in every election year, there are also issues that arise and people have to go to the courts.